and can't just be done with anyone. It has to be done with the right people, the people who have been given the authority.
I think there's a natural jealousy and dislike that they have had toward Robyn. Get ready for a jaw-dropping revelation that could alter the way you look at Kody Brown forever. Hey everybody, welcome to today's show. Just before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. For diehard Sister Wives fans out there, one thing we know for certain is that emotional chaos is never lacking. At the eye of this hurricane is none other than Kody Brown, the so-called head of a polygamous family. That's weathered a roller coaster of victories, conflicts, and ultimately profound fissures. Throughout the years, Kody's words have shocked and outraged not just his wives, but also viewers, leaving many trying to understand how a man's mind could hold such power. Some of Kody's more outlandish comments have been written off as anger, the heat of the moment, but others have pulled back the curtain and given us a creepy window into his attitudes on marriage, loyalty, and love. And their observations are raising increasing eyebrows about the dynamics of power in the Brown household. Today we're diving into some of Kody's most controversial statements, remarks that have sparked endless debates, wounded deep emotions, and played a pivotal role in the unraveling of his plural marriage. I don't consider myself married to marry. A heartbreaking admission that stung for anyone who's been watching Sister Wives since the beginning. The downfall of Kody and Meri Brown's marriage has been nothing less than tragic, a painful process that played out before our eyes. What was once a solid foundation relationship in the Brown family gradually wilted under the pressure of emotional distance, trust problems, and changing priorities. Their own struggles were difficult to disregard, from Meri's emotional distress over infertility to the notorious catfishing scandal that only served to widen the gulf between them. But it was Kody's starkly blunt declaration that would finally seal the fate of their spiritual union. I don't really consider myself married to marry. Those three words, cold, final, and very blunt, rang as the ultimate betrayal. At that confessional moment, Kody let it be known that to him, their relationship had already been over before the official breakup. For Meri, the epiphany must have been nothing less than gut-wrenching. You won't believe what Kody Brown said next. This shocking confession will leave you speechless for years. Meri Brown held out hope that their relationship between her and Kody could be salvaged. But when reality came crashing down, it struck her like a ton of bricks. She was left in complete shock. Since moving to Flagstaff, Meri had been reassured that Kody was making an effort to repair their broken relationship. But when he finally informed her that their marriage was over, there was no fanfare. He didn't even want to make it public. Meri remembered in an unflinching moment of introspection. He was more concerned with what other people would think. This discovery was a stomach-turn-running punch, not only to Meri, who had suffered through years of emotional abandonment, but to the viewers who had seen her endure it all. The fact that Kody had emotionally withdrawn long before he was ready to own up to it was a harsh reminder of the imbalance of power that had been present in their marriage. Meri had stuck with the plural marriage system, while Kody had emotionally checked out but never given the decency of an actual honest breakup. His lack of interest and his inability to be the one to break it off was a clear trend, one that would quickly become painfully evident in his other relationships too. I wasn't attracted to you when we got married. Christine Brown's heartbreaking revelation would go down as one of the most shocking moments in Sister Wives history. Christine, who had once been the picture of enthusiasm for polygamy, had entered the marriage with hope for companionship, joy, and a sense of belonging within the Brown family. She'd embraced her role as the third wife, putting the needs of the family first, and sacrificing her own desires for the good of the plural household. But beneath her sunny fade, there were quiet struggles, insecurities, and disappointments that insidiously eroded her self-worth. And then in a moment that shook the foundations Kody made, a revelation that left Christine completely blindsided. It's true. Kody confessed, his words slicing through years of common history like a knife. I wasn't attracted to you when we got married. Christine, who had been with Kody for more than 25 years and had 6 children by his side, was stunned. His brutal honesty hurt more than that. It stung. It wasn't that Kody confessed to not being attracted to her, but the manner in which he presented He felt forced into the marriage, that he didn't know any better at the time. For Christine, it was an agonizing truth that broke the fantasy of their life together. Kody Brown's explosive revelation will make you wonder if everything about his relationships is true. Christine Brown was devastated by Kody's revelation. "It's like he felt like he had to marry me, or something," she said, tears in her eyes. That's so sad. Christine had felt that way for years, that she was never really Kody's number one. She'd expressed her requirement for more love, more effort, and more of his time. But to learn that he'd never actually wanted her to begin with that was a blow. It redefined the entire context of their marriage. Had she spent all those years struggling for a love that never existed? Had she suffered through years of emotional abandonment, clinging to something that was never meant to be? At that moment, Christine's decision to abandon.
I feel like that about David. She's like, well, yeah, you should. And she goes, oh, you didn't feel like that with that. And I said, I didn't know. I want every woman to feel.
Kody no longer seemed like a courageous act of rebellion. It seemed like an act of self-preservation that needed to be done. She had given him everything, her heart, her time, her devotion. And in return, he confessed that he never really wanted her. It was the brutal reality that made her understand. If this was how her love had been repaid, it was time to leave. Blame yourself if I don't love you. Kody Brown's conditional love style shocked many fans. In spite of consistently asserting the value of loyalty, respect, and commitment in his marriages, his definition of love appeared profoundly transactional, based on whether his wives lived up to his shifting expectation. One of the most disconcerting moments was when Kody uttered a chilling remark regarding love and responsibility. "Don't blame me for not loving you. I was doing my duty. Blame yourself if I don't love you." To many, these words were a glaring red flag. Rather than taking responsibility for his own part in the demise of his relationships, Kody blamed his wives. His words implied that they were worth it only if they were worthy of his affection, like love was something that could be earned instead of an unconditional bond created through mutual respect. This remark followed years of escalating tension between Kody and his wives, most notably Mary Christine and Janelle. All of these women had at some point expressed their frustrations of feeling invisible, unheard, or unvalued. And yet, by implying that they were responsible for his emotional withdrawal, Kody demonstrated a profoundly flawed sense of what a relationship is. Love, when it is real, is not something one earns through obedience. It's not a trade. It's a collaboration based on trust, respect, and more than anything, emotional presence. The shocking truth behind Kody Brown's words, how they tore his family apart. Love in Kody Brown's universe was not something given freely, it was earned. It was not about mutual respect or partnership. It was about servitude, about absolute submission. His message was clear and loud. In his world, love was something his wives must earn, and if they fell short of expectations, there would be punishment. For years, Mary Christine and Janelle suffered emotional neglect, meanwhile holding out hope that Kody would rekindle the love that had long since vanished. But with every cruel word, it became increasingly clear. Reconciliation was not on the horizon. Kody's words were not merely thoughtless remarks. They were echoes of a deeper, more painful truth in the Brown home. Christine, finally, waking up to the fact that she was worthy of more than an unloved marriage, took a stand and walked away. Her move brought a new page, a page in which her joy would take center stage, freed from the burdens and disregard to which she had been subjected. All these years, Mary, all these years holding on to a hope, ultimately confronted the unpleasant reality. She was clinging to a marriage that no longer was Janelle ever. The free spirit realized with great pain that she could no longer be in a relationship where she came last in all of it. Kody remained the central figure in the narrative. Instead of owning his choices, he cast blame on his wives. His words, his choices, and his emotional absence were the determining factors in the destruction of his family. Sister Wives has always been a tale of family religion and the intricacies of plural marriage, but at its core, it's also a tale of resilience. The resilience of women who, through hard-won lessons, discovered that they are worth more than conditional love. As the dust settles, one thing is certain: Kody Brown's words have redefined the trajectory of this family's path in irreversible ways. Though Kody might still justify his decisions, the women who stood by his side previously have finally gained the courage to stand alone. Reality TV live-send drama, and few shows have provided it as reliably as Sister Wives. But at the heart of all this drama, Kody Brown's shocking words and the unraveling of the Brown family. What really went down where once he was the charming matriarch of a plural household, Kody Brown's highly cultivated persona has now been gradually unspun on screen. Word for word over the years has been as damning as his deed, leaving family members in agony and fans stunned. His statements, a sometimes flippant, sometimes self-interested, have revealed the changed priorities that now characterize his relation. Most importantly, his unapologetic partiality to his fourth spouse, Robyn, from his statements regarding love to his ever-tightening relationships with his children. Kody's comments have frequently been lightning rods for strong criticism, but it hasn't only been his public statements that have drawn attention. Sister Wives Tell All specials have been instrumental in stripping away the layers of reality behind the drama. These shows designed to hold the Brown family responsible for what they have done and chosen have become must-see television for their fans who cannot wait to discover what happens once the camera shave stopped rolling. Yet the tell-all format itself has seen some major developments over the years. While some of the hosts have probed the Brown family for answers, others have let Kody get away with weaseling out of the tough question. A highly contentious change involved a gruff interviewer being quietly replaced, an omission not lost on the show's loyal fan base. In this deep dive, we're breaking down Kody Brown's most problematic statements, the growing fractures in his relationships, and the behind-the-scenes shakeups that have shaped Sister Wives over time. Blame and love. Kody's conditional perspective on romance. Kody Brown has long projected himself as a man of faith, fate, and the spiritual ties of marriage. But increasingly, his language has betrayed Avery more conditional conception of love, one in which loyalty must be earned, not granted. One of his most telling statements came when he attempted to explain his overwhelming affection for Robyn.
He's also dealing with Mary finally saying she's done and what's going on with Janelle and the issues with the kids and stuff. That's
while simultaneously justifying the failure of his other marriages. "When I'm in love with a woman, that's her fault," Kody remarked. Though this comment was perhaps meant to be romantic, it instead revealed Kody's firmly held conviction that love is something determined by the behavior of the women in his life. In his mind, if he loves them, it's because they've earned it, depending on how they behave. His words implied that his feelings weren't unconditional, they were transactional, depending on whether or not his wives behaved well. Kody Brown's shocking words expose his true perspective on love, betrayal, and family. Kody Brown's statements about love have consistently drawn criticism for their conditional nature. His views suggest that passion, devotion, and the desire to make a woman feel cherished are entirely dependent on something she's done to earn it. "So, what happens when I'm not in love with a woman? Is that just my fault?" he said rhetorically, as if to imply that the failure of his marriages was not due to anything he had done but to the failure of his wives. He continued, trying to explain his thinking. "If I'm angry at a woman wish to serve, her wish to rub her feet, wish to bring in her groceries, if I wish to purchase her jewelry, if I wish her to feel special, all the time, if I'm in love with a woman, I believe that's her fault." This declaration created shockwaves within the Sister Wives fan base. Most interpreted it as Kody directly blaming his ex-wives Christine, Mary, and Janelle for a lack of love from him toward them, rather than admitting love is constructed based on mutual work, emotional closeness, and respect. Kody framed love as something that does or does not occur depending on the woman involved. The contrast was stark. Fans are reminded of the Kody Brown they had met. In the early season, a man who claimed polygamy was a sacred equal partnership. Now his words painted a very different picture. A man who had lost interest in his first 3 wives, justifying his disinterest by claiming they had failed. To keep his affection alive, "I'm not abandoning my children. They have betrayed me." Whereas Kody's observations regarding his wives had generated controversy. His observations regarding his children brought the drama to a different level. During the later seasons of Sister Wives, Kody's dynamics with most of his older children, particularly those whom he had with Christine and Janelle, had started to sour. No longer was the rift between father and child physical. It was now profoundly emotional based on resentment, broken, trust, and in Kody's estimation, betrayal. In season 19, while talking to Robin, Kody spoke about his estrangement from some of his older children, providing an explanation that surprised many viewers. "I am not leaving my children," he stated emphatically. "They have betrayed me." Instead of owning up to his part in the tense relationships, Kody framed himself as the victim, implying that his children had somehow done something to him. This attitude only further entrenched the widening rift between him and his kids, with fans wondering how much Kody would own up to the broken family dynamic. Kody Brown's words, the blame game, and the untold truth behind sister wives. Kody Brown's troubled relationship with his children is among the saddest plot lines in Sister Wives. His declarations regarding the deterioration of those relationships are appalling. That his children have willfully distanced themselves from him. They're adults. They have animosity. "I did not want to talk to a person who sits there with so much contempt." Kody maintained positioning himself as the victim and his children as the ones who did not want to heal the chasm, instead of taking responsibility for his part in the fractures. Kody's words spoke volumes about a complete refusal to mend the damage. He flatly asserted that his children's rejection was not caused by years of neglect, favoritism, or coldness, but because of their own profound contempt. Kody concluded with a particularly venomous comment. "They are deliberately excluding me from their lives, to punish me for a crime that I didn't commit. What have I done wrong, other than not falling wildly in love with their mothers?" This assertion again put the onus squarely on his former wives. In Kody's opinion, his kids were distancing themselves from him not due to his behavior, but due to anger over his involvement with their mothers. Than font that they were punishing him as if he had been some helpless, innocent bystander in the failure of his own family. The backlash came quickly. Followers inundated social media, shock at Kody's utter lack of self-awareness. How was it possible that he couldn't realize his children were responding to years of emotional abandonment and being treated like second-class citizens in their own home? Could he not realize? His actions had played a significant role in the increasing rift. The situation between Kody and his kids has since been one of the saddest things about Sister Wives. Even if some relationships can still be salvaged, Kody's unwillingness to own up has only made the wounds deeper. And many fans can't help but wonder if healing is even an option. The Sister Wives tell all when the host becomes the story. Though Kody's inflammatory comments on family and love have sparked hot controversy, another drama has been brewing off camera. The transformation of the Sister Wives tell-all specials. For several years, the episodes were a venue for their fans to find out about the most dramatic in the Brown family saga. But the design of these specials shifted dramatically through the years. Not all hosts questioned the Browns in the same manner. Some, such as Tamron Hall, were not afraid to pin down Kody and his wives for the truth. Indeed, Hall's aggressive questioning tended to push the limits of the network, and her hosting stint was one of the most contentious in the show's history. Being a veteran reporter, Hall's no-nonsense and relentless approach brought about some of the greatest confrontations ever seen on Sister Wives. She never faltered in holding Kody accountable for his behavior, with Christine and Mary questioning the family's willingness to minimize jealousy and declining to accept unclear, evasive responses. At one every tense point, Hall had words with Kody regarding his behavior. They were seeking transparency on his relationship dynamics. The stark difference between her aggressive questioning and other hosts' more accommodating interview styles had viewers wondering if the show was really sharing all the facts regarding the Brown family's problems. Kody Brown's words, the rising tension, the tell-all drama. One of the most iconic moments in Sister Wives history came when host Tamron Hall asked Kody a straightforward but potent question: how can a guy have 4 wives and not have jealousy and characteristic style? Kody tried to sidestep, but Hall wasn't having. She fired back hard, retorting, "I think that you have minimized it immensely until this season." Hall's straight-shooting style made ripples in the Sister Wives fan base, many of which appreciated her reluctance to let Kody get off scot-free. But after a few seasons of tough, no-holds-barred asking questions, Hall was nowhere to be found. TLC never formally discussed her absence, but rumors circulated that the Brown family had asked for a less combative host. The directional shift was tangible. In future tell-all specials, hosts took agentler approach, letting Kody steamroll the discussion and never have to own up to what he did. This change didn't go when reported fans rallied on social media, lamenting the new softer approach with many, tweeting, "Bring Tamron back TLC, we need her to hold Kody accountable." This behind-the-scenes intrigue raised a fundamental question. Was Sister Wives ever actually a reality show intended to reveal the unvarnished truth, or was it from the start intended to shield its stars from excessive scrutiny, the shift in hosting? Style appeared to be yet another deliberate gesture to shield Kody from the tougher question, the evolution of Sister Wives. From Kody's provocative comments to this behind-the-scenes changes in hosting style, Sister Wives has evolved into something much bigger than simply a reality show about plural marriage. This evolved into an ever-unfolding tale of changing dynamics, broken relationships, and a family desperately trying to recreate itself amidst endless change. For over a decade, Sister Wives shows captivated audiences with its raw, emotional, and often tumultuous portrayal of polygamy. But at the heart of the drama is Kody Brown, a man whose words have not only shaped the public's perception of his relationships, but have also driven wedges between him and those he claims to love. Kody's behavior has spoken louder than words, for his statements, sometimes brash and others callous, have shocked his wives and kids and left his fans wondering what he really thinks of love, commitment, and responsibility. His regular practice of shifting the blame rather than taking his share in the breakdown of his family has shown a disproportionate, self-absorbed attitude toward marriage. Whether it's excusing his favoritism towards Robyn, insulting his children, or minimizing the turmoil in his relationships. Kody's words have always revealed a man whose priorities and actions have left a lasting legacy on those around him. The divided family, an examination of Kody's legacy, and a Sister Wives keeps going. Kody's lack of responsibility is a continued theme. His inability to realize his part in the emotional neglect and fissures between him and his wives and children says a lot about his style when it comes to love and marriage. His words frequently tell us that relationships, romantic or familial, are conditional depending upon whether the other person adheres to his expectations. This has resulted in the dissolution of relationships that initially looked solid. For most fans.